Many of you have asked me about this mini pin cushion that showed up on my Scrappy Pets pattern, and I promised many of you that I would show you how to make your own. Hey, it's Denise from LumiHat.com, and these guys, they're tiny, but they fit all of your needles and your pins without any problem. And best of all, as you can see them, you can make them in all kind of colors, because in all reality, you don't need a lot of yarn. Any little bit of scrap will work perfect. Now, I use this 12 peg loom to make the one that we're going to make today, but if you don't have, you can use a 24 and it'll look a little bit different. Like this one here, it is single strand, and the bottom is different in that I did use a rib stitch pattern here, a knit purl, but not to worry, I'm going to explain that at the end. You can also choose to use 2 strands of yarn to knit if you want something more bulky. I'm going to be doing single strand for the project on the video. The original one was done with 2 strands of yarn, so that's going to be up to you to make that option, as well as whether you're going to do a 12 peg loom or a 24. Like I said along the way on the video, just stick with me and I'll explain the differences. So now let's begin with an E-wrap cast on. We're going to start by securing the yarn to the anchor peg, and I'm going to do a simple knot. You can do a slip knot if that makes you more comfortable, and then take the working yarn between the first and last peg, and we're going to wrap all of the pegs. So come around and then just wrap. You can go in either direction. I'm going from left to right. You can go from right to left. It's going to have no effect on the pattern. So whatever makes you feel more comfortable, that's the way you go. Now we need to wrap each peg twice. So right over the existing loop, you're going to wrap each peg and add another loop on top. So you have a loop on the top and one on the bottom, and you're going to secure the working yarn with your thumb and take your hook, and you're going to take that bottom loop over the top and knit off. And that's what you're going to do with all of your pegs. Now you'll see that I pull on the loop and the next one stretches out, and you see how it tightens the previous one. And the reason I'm doing this is that when I fold the fabric over to remount them on the pegs, I don't want loops that are really loose, and so I'm tightening the cast on right now while the project is still on the loom as opposed to later on. So I know it looks a little funky and weird, but trust me, this is going to make it go much easier, much faster, much neater. And as I get to this last peg and I stretch, you see how much excess yarn there is. That would have been sitting on your project and it wouldn't have looked good. All right, so you took the knot off the anchor peg, and that basically tightened everything up. And now we're just going to go ahead and secure that yarn to the anchor peg again, and you'll just have a really long working yarn that's sitting there, but your cast on is done. We're now ready to knit rows 1 through 12, where we're basically going to knit the row. So take the working yarn, put it over the existing loop, half wrap your peg, take the bottom loop over the top, and knit off. That is the U-wrap version of the knit stitch. You can also use the flat version, the classic as well, but not the E-wrap. All right, so you're just going to continue to knit all of your pegs. If you're wanting to do the rib stitch, you're going to do 1 peg knit, 1 peg purl, and I'll give you a link in the description for a video on how to do a purl stitch. So continue knitting. And here I am at peg 1, so I finished my row 1. I'm going to now start on row 2, and remember that we need 12 rows. So just continue knitting your rows until you have all 12, and once you've done that, you're now ready to remount that first row, which is right here. It's the very bottom, and you'll see that the stitches are a bit bigger. You're going to bring them up and remount them to the peg. You should have 12 of these loops on the first row for your 12 pegs, and if you have 24, well then 24. You can use your fingers, or you see here that I've showed you that I can use either my fingers or my hook. I find the hook to just be easier, and as you can see, the loops are bigger but they're not huge, which is what would have happened if we had not tightened the loops. So this just makes for an neater, easier first row that you need to remount onto the pegs. So you're gonna find that these might get a little tight, but it shouldn't be too bad. You should be able to remount them easily. All right, and once you've done that, just make sure that you get your yarn out of the way, your two strands, and then just knit off. That first one is a little loose, just tighten it a bit, and then take the bottom loops over the top and knit off, and that's gonna seal that folded brim, I'm gonna call it a brim, on your little pin cushion. So knit all of them off, whether it's 12 or 24, doesn't matter, and make sure that you know which of your two strands is which. So you have your cast on strand, and then you have the one that you're working on. That working yarn is the one that you're going to cut off. So stretch over like 3 pegs, get your scissors and cut, and that's going to leave you like a little tail, which you're going to use now to change colors. If you want your pincushion to just be all one color, then you don't need to cut the yarn and start with a new color. You can just continue knitting after you knit off what I'm going to call the brim. All right, so I'm just using a basic knot that I'm going to tie twice with the 2 colors in order to secure that new color to the old color. And then all I'm going to do is start knitting the top of the cushion, which is going to be row 11 through 19. And just like before, I'm still using the U-wrap version of the knit stitch. If you made the 24 with the rib stitch on the top portion, you're still just doing 9 rows using the U-wrap version of the knit stitch. Either pattern, it's going to be the same. And again, even if you use 2 strands as one, you're still going to do the same. And then once you're done with those 9 rows, you're now ready for the cast off, and we're going to use the gathered method, also known as a drawstring cast off. You're going to take the working yarn and you're going to wrap it around the loom about 1 and a little extra, maybe another 3 pegs. Get your scissors, cut the working yarn, and now you're going to get your hook, put the working yarn under the existing loop, and with the hook scoop it up and feed it through the loop. So you're going to do that with each one of your loops, be it 12 or 24. You're just going to scoop up the working yarn and feed it through each and every one of those loops. Once you're done and you know that you haven't missed any loop, because if you do, that's going to really mess you up, then you can go ahead with the hook or with your fingers, take those loops off of the pegs on all of them, and you want to free up your project from the loom, and then you want to stretch your stitches, and those bottom ones might feel a little funky, but it's very important that you stretch those stitches so that your fabric looks correct. And then you can kind of mush on the bottom because you want it puffy, and then pull on the working yarn to close the top completely. You'll see that you have a strand of yarn on both the top and the bottom. You're going to get a yarn needle, and we're going to start with the bottom. Thread your needle with that working yarn that's on the bottom. I'm going to call it the brim, right? And there was a section where you brought the loops and you brought them up and you remounted. Well, those loops, you're going to feed that needle through those loops, because what we want to do now is close the bottom. So just like you would do a hat, or just like you did the top of this project, you're going to feed the needle through those loops where you remounted, and now you're just going to pull on it to close it. just like you would, like I said, a top of a hat. And you could see those loops, they're easy to find. Go ahead and feed your working yarn maybe twice through all of those loops, and then bring it together and close it, and then bring the needle upward and feed the yarn through, and then pull on it and cut it with your scissors, and it'll disappear. Then you're going to go ahead and mash on it a little. That makes the bottom kind of puffy, as you can see. And then you're going to thread the needle now with the top drawstring, which is in that second color. And once you feed you've thread the needle, now you're going to feed it through those top cast off loops. And what you're aiming to do is to completely close this top. Okay, and so you could feed it like twice in a circular manner and close that top. And then when you're done, push the needle in and bring the yarn back out to the bottom section. And now what we're going to do is feed the needle through those loops. They are the ones that are in the second color, if you use the second color. And if you didn't, it's just that row where you went from remounting to starting the top portion. You're going to go through every other loop. You're going to feed that working yarn through it, because what you want to do now is to kind of close that so it'll puff up the top. There's a clear distinction between the top and the bottom when you do this. And then with your fingers, just shape your pin cushion. And then when you're done, you could just cut off the excess yarn from that top portion. And it's hidden away, and now it's just a matter of shaping your pin cushion to look the way you want it. And for the bottom, you want to round it off and make it puffy by bringing it together. And the top, you just want it to look almost like the topping on a muffin, and then that's it, it's done. But wait, there's more. Remember I told you I would give you where the difference was if you wanted to make the larger version on the 24 peg loom. And the brim is the key here to that change right here. So the pattern only changes on rows 1 through 12, where you'll now do a knit 1, purl 1, as opposed to all knit. That's the only difference in the pattern for the little one, and the big one is just rows 1 through 12. And those first ones, you can just do all knit stitches if you want. That'll work just fine. So to everyone that will buy this pattern, I want to say thank you ahead of time. And please, if you enjoyed this, share the video, because it helps me a whole lot. Alright guys, until you come back to loom with me again, have lots of fun. Remember to tag me on your pics.